Alright. Got my liquid lunch. Been juicing a lot too. When I was in California a couple times visiting my sister, they had a juicer and she would juice for breakfast and make a little cup for dinner to eat with dinner, and kind of got hooked on that. Just trying to lose a few pounds and get healthier. Ugh. Just started in the last couple days lifting weights again, so see if I could keep it up. Kind of will take my back way to Buda here. I get some gas on the way home too. I am still tired today, even though I slept better last night. I don't know if it's the weather or allergies. No, I've been having to take an allergy pill every day. Alright, so we were talking about my California trip. And so yeah, on my second day, I was getting stuck in dust storms, riding sideways, getting blown off the road. And then one time the wind came completely from the other direction and blew me into the other lane, and thank God there was like no other traffic around. So I found this hole in the wall, like gas station, out in the middle of nowhere by itself. And like, I have no idea where these people live, but there's just, I'm getting dust in my eyes, the bike is filthy, there's just dirt everywhere, there's tumbleweed blown across the road. I'm just trying not to get blown over when I stop. It's like I didn't really need gas, but my body needed the brakes. I got some gas and I was just so exhausted. And I kind of pulled over in like a little sidewalk area next to the gas station just to get out of the wind and take a break, and just kind of like, you know, what do I do? It's like I can't stop here, there's nothing here. You know, all I can do is keep going and hope that I find a roach motel somewhere or something. So back on the road again, doing 40, 45 into 75, and I want to say it took me, I guess it was, I don't know, I only went like, I was supposed to do 530 miles that day, and only made it like 200 and something. And that might have been in like 7 hours, I want to say. So, made it to Wilcox, Arizona, and I was kind of, I don't know, maybe I was starting to get my second wind, but there was a really nice truck stop, like 2 or 3 hotels. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm not doing so bad. Stopped to get gas, and it's getting cold, so I was like, well, I'll put on my cold weather gear. And at this point, I'm probably not having very good judgment because I just want to make it to California. I think I kind of pushed it. I should have took longer and took more pictures, but I was just so tired and just wanted to get there that mean, I took some pictures, but I wish I would have took more, but I think on the second day I didn't even want to get my camera out because of all the dirt blowing around. So yeah, I get gas, kind of pull off to the side, pull out my colder weather gear, and the asphalt, the little rocks, loose rocks from the asphalt are like blowing across the ground, and some of it's hitting me, and I mean, this stuff is just being pushed across the parking lot like it's nothing, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to stop. You know, there's really nothing I could do about it either. My trip is gonna take a day longer, you know, or so like going over to the Holiday Inn Express, and it was kind of under construction and confusing to get in, and I was like, I hope they're open, and go in there and start talking to the receptionist, and her and her husband ride bikes, and he rides from Wilcox to Tucson every day for work. And so I was telling her where I was from and what I was doing, and she's like, that's awesome, you know, and I'll give you a discount on your room. And I was like, sweet. And so she was like, yeah, if you would have kept going, it would have just got worse. She said there's some nasty canyons that just get windswept. If I would have kept going through Tucson and Phoenix, and so I was like, well, thank God I decided to stop. I kind of got my bike behind a motorhome to get it out of the blowing dirt, and I tried to wipe it off a little bit. And the magnets from my tank bag, were scratching my tank a little bit because it would get dirt underneath them. So yeah, the truck stop had a nice little restaurant, so I was able to get some dinner and just rest, go to bed early. And I think maybe it was later I went back to the truck stop to get some snacks. You know, I was just listening to the truckers talk, and they had shut down like 60 or 100 miles of I-10 due to winds. So this truck stop was packed now. Just trucks parked everywhere, and yeah, because they were turning everybody around down the way where I had come from. So it was insane. So yeah, just rested up, got up at like 4 o'clock, got all my stuff ready, made sure that I ate breakfast like as soon as they put it out, so I could pretty much leave when the sun was coming up. I wanted to be, you know, ahead of any wind. But so yeah, the third day ended up still being fairly windy. Just exhausting, staying on the bike and keeping my head up, and so yeah, basically from the freaking border of Texas to LA is windy. And when we moved here, you know, we drove our cars when we moved from California, and I had no idea that the wind zone was so long, and like I was wishing the signs would end that said, you know, high winds, high wind areas, you know, caution, and they just kept going all the way to LA. And I think I was pretty much able to go the speed limit on the third day, so I just wanted to make time. And finally stopped at some ghetto gas station in LA. And the sad part is I did not fear for my safety until I got to California. You know, had I died on I-10 somewhere, I think there would have been some helper person who would have stopped, trucker or something, and you know, I feel pretty safe that I could defend myself, and I took a knife with me, so I made sure I had something to protect myself. But yeah, just California never felt more ghetto than it did riding my bike through it. And of course, all the freeway exits in California are always all tore up, and you can't figure out how to get back on the freeway, so I'm driving through the ghetto. It doesn't really make me all that nervous, but I wanted to get back on the freeway and keep going, and I was just tired and frustrated that it took me a little bit to get back on and find a side street that exited or entered back onto the freeway. And freaking Magic Mountain was right down the road, so I should have just kept going a couple more exits, and it would have been in a lot better area. And I ended up stopping at a Starbucks there anyways to get some coffee. And at that point, with better judgment, I probably should have stayed at a hotel there. But I called my sister, and she said she would wait up for me, and I'm like, I just want to keep going, I just want to get there. And once I got over the Grapevine, you know, the big mountain right after LA, like the wind just completely stopped. I was like, thank you God. You know, there's less traffic and there's no wind. I'm like, I can ride in this, I can keep going. Even though like my butt and my hands are numb and my knees are swollen and I can't freaking stand up straight anymore. So, you know, I'm pretty much at that point, like I completely knew where I was, you know. It ended up taking longer than I thought, you know, but I totally, you know, Bakersfield, Fresno, and then Merced, and like I would just stop in those big towns. Even if I didn't need gas, I would just stop. Get a little bit of gas, shake out my legs. And then I think at like midnight, I had to stop. I had to stop in Merced and do some jumping jacks. Because I was cold. I had stopped by Magic Mountain to put on my cold weather gear because it was getting a little bit chilly.